Hi, guys. Thanks for joining my YouTube channel. Well, I wanted to have a conversation with you all. For those of you who do know, or those of you who don't know, Melody and Martel both did an event in Atlanta on June 4th. Melody did the high heels event, the women empowerment event, and Martel was on a panel of single individuals who were in relationships, and I believe the topic was rejection. And so Martel continues to do his tour, on his marriage and how he felt like he was rejected in his tour. I am a little puzzled because the girl here with the curly hair is Crystal XO. You may have seen her. She does a lot of interviews. I think she works for Rolling Out magazine. And she is the one that invited Melody to the event where she spoke at. And the other young lady, the young lady with the shorter hair, is the one that invited Martel to join her panel of individuals. But you'll hear in this video that these two women have two different perspectives. I forget the other girl's name, but she seems to have bought in to Martel's situation. I mean, you make your own opinion after hearing the video, but I just wanted to give you all some context. Now, it is said that Melody, Martel, and the kids all traveled together as a family. Now, I don't know if they were filming this for TV, but they did travel into Atlanta in Melody's new G Wagon. And, they stayed at a location in Atlanta. Now, one of the events was from 1 to 4. I believe it was Martel's event. However, they were going to do the switch off. One was from 1 to 4, and I believe Melody's event, or it's the reverse. One was from 1 to 4, and one event started at 4. And we heard in the video, so something happened in the interim of that. But we heard in the video, Melody said she had to have the kiddies with her, the kiddos with her. So she did take them with her to his event. What I found was that, which is going to be a separate video, Martel was really well received at the event he did. The people, really liked him. I mean, he is a likable, he does have a likable personality. He won the people over. They gave him rave reviews and so on and so forth. But I want to get you guys' opinions on these two perspectives when you hear them speak about Melody and Martel's marriage. So I think I've given you pretty much the context of, Crystal. Actually, Crystal was at both events. She did go to the other young lady's event as well. And like I said, she invited Melody, and Melody talks with her. And then this other girl who's friends with Crystal, they work together a lot. She invited Martel. So, I mean, we know that Atlanta, it's like I don't know, it seems very small, it's like the stuff just rotates, the dating scene and everything. It doesn't seem like it's so big. It seems like everybody knows everybody. And we find that Melody and Martel, they're doing a lot of work and business in Atlanta, because I guess nothing is really happening in Huntsville. Although it is growing, But, the major city where things are happening, I guess, is Atlanta. So, they're going to be bumping heads with a lot of the same people and the same events. So I just thought this was ironic that they both did events on the same day. And so I'll leave you guys with that. But be sure to leave your comments down below after you hear this video. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in. Bye.
Be messy, be messy. So anyway.
Yes, and it's a place where that person has changed, but now when they have changed, you have changed also.
Oh, sure. She said, well, you should have grabbed me and set me down, and you should have told me that if you don't take care of me, I'm going to go out and cheat on you. So she said to me, just be that transparent.
You just like ain't nobody gonna be judging and pointing no finger and none of that. None of that. And there is someone, I've been there. I can't tell you how many times I've been there.
I think there was an episode on Love and Marriage Huntsville where we see him with his father, and you see a lot of pain there, right? And I think a lot of times we forget that men, just like I can say I experienced rejection from my dad, and that really set the tone for my life. I guarantee that Martel's actions are rooted in some unhealed pain and rejection from his early childhood. Because for him, he's a good looking guy. He's very charming. But you can tell what we see and what he feels probably are two different things.
Well, I watched season 2 because I initially, prior to this series of Cheministry, I hadn't watched the show.
Okay.
So I binge watched season 2, which is where a good bulk of the things
marital fallout.
Yeah, the stuff started to unveil. And what I saw was a man who wasn't being heard. He comes across as being very passive aggressive with his wife. So he went to her and said, "Hey, these are my concerns." And she overtalked him, and she told him what she was going to do, and she told him that essentially you're going to support me in this. And in his mind, he was like, okay. But I'm going to go do what I'm going to do too.
And he did.
And then we found out on the platform at Cheministry the other night that this affair was going on before the show. I don't think no one ever asked that question. I was listening. I was like, were you having this affair before? So this was going on.
Yeah.
And so that's where he got his validation. He went and he got it somewhere else.
A lot of times men do that. Yeah. A lot of times men will go look for it outside. And it's funny because I was talking to one of the dating coaches that was there that came to the event on Saturday. And I was actually talking to Rebecca Lynn Pope's husband, Carrie Pope. And we were talking about how men, a lot of times, if they're dealing with rejection, their first thing is to go find a woman to make them feel better.
Yes.
And a lot of times the woman, and this is not talking about Martel's situation, but a lot of times they'll go to a woman and it'll be a sexual relationship, and we'll think, oh, he just wants sex. And he was like, it's not about sex. It's really about the fact that there's validation there, and a woman is speaking to him in a language that he understands, and it feels, so the wife is feeling like, oh, he just wanted sex, but no, he just wanted to be heard. He just wanted to be validated, and he didn't know how to ask for that.
Right. Absolutely. I see a lot of people, because I did the live with him before the actual show, and there are a lot of people out there invested in this relationship.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's like the power couple that everybody wanted to love, and that went wrong. Yeah.
But they tend to gloss over how those two got into that situation. And I wanted to shine light on that, because I said, okay, guys, you're looking at him cheating, but did you pay attention to how he got there? The treatment on how he got there. I mean, Mel is a piece of work.
Well, I think there's two sides. There's always two sides to a story. And I think Martel's cheating really had more to do with him not being, he needs to understand how to deal with himself, right? Because really, if you cheat every time you feel that you don't feel validated and heard, that's not what a mature person does. Because women can do it too. We just probably don't get caught.
What do you do? So let me ask you this though. In a situation, because we saw him go to his wife, right, and talk to her about what issues he had, right, before we even learned about the cheating, right. So in that situation or scenario, he did that. She didn't listen, and he even said on the platform that she even said to him at one time, "Why don't you go out and get a girlfriend?" And that's exactly what he did. Yeah. But aside from that, because that was bad advice. Yeah. Well, she was being smart.
Yeah,
she's being smart. Yeah. But really, seriously, what should he have, or what could he have done if he wasn't being heard? Like, what's your next course of action? What do you do? You know, that's interesting. I'll give you my honest opinion, because I just got married, right? And I'm gonna tell you, there's no person that's going to give you what you need all the time. That is why you have to be mature enough and in tune with your star player, as Cat Williams said, enough to know that I need to get the help, because there are going to be times in every relationship. It could be a friendship. You and I could be super close friends, and something happened to me and I need you. You may not be able to be there because you may just not be able to. It doesn't mean that you don't love me. It doesn't mean that we're not supposed to be friends. But as humans, we're all fallible, right? So I think you have to understand in marriage. I think Martel had an idea that if I'm not happy as a man, I have a right to do this, because he said that in the last season. He's like, well, this is what men do all the time, that nobody leaves. You know, he's thinking that this is how I can deal with my unhappiness, and that's not true. A leader, a man, a head of household, if you're not getting what you need, you've got to figure out a way to do that without putting your household at risk. And to me, it's so heartbreaking, because like I said, I talked to Melody. I like her very much. I talked to Martel. I see the potential with him. I think he really wants to be a good guy. I don't think he's just an evil person. But their family was broken, and that's heartbreaking, because we think, yeah, we've got the two of them that go back and forth, but you got 4 gorgeous children, beautiful children, and they're hurt from all this. I don't care what people say. Yes, you can protect them, but you can't protect them from the hurt of that family being split apart. Right. So what I would tell a person in Martel's situation, before he was already cheating before we saw that on the second season, because he had the idea that it was okay for him to do that. That meant he, it's manly. Like, I'm gonna go get my needs over here, but you don't go anywhere. You got to fix it with yourself, because if you fix yourself, you react differently. And that's what the panel was about. Like, how do we deal with rejection in a positive way? Jason Lee. But see, let me before you go there with Jason, the thing about that is, in friendships, if a friend is not meeting a particular need, you can go find you another friend, and no one's going to condemn you for it. Right. But in a marriage, not so much. Right. So, I mean, that's just like, it's still a question mark for me, a single woman, because I can't imagine what it feels like to be stuck in a situation where you're constantly crying out, saying, hey, needs are not being met. Yeah. These are things that I can only get from my spouse or my wife or my husband, and you're not hearing me. But they may not do. I think that's why marriage is so, people should think before they do it. So they're not think it's an issue of compatibility. Well, it's not even that, because it could change. Like I'll give you an example. There are times in marriages, I dealt with cancer, right? And I went to support groups after the fact. That was part of the thing that drove our marriage apart, because a lot of times if a spouse is sick or a spouse loses a parent, you can go through depression that the other person cannot help you through. Right. There's no way. We heard that with Will and Jada. Not that want to promote the way their marriage is at any point, but not one person cannot make you happy. Right. I cannot be responsible for my husband's happiness. He's not responsible for my happiness. Right. If I feel like I need validation, I have to work on Crystal. And that's what you just said about friendship. You can get another friend. Well, like I have a friend from back home. I can't get another best friend that's known me since I was 10.
Is it the same type of relationship? No, but the maturity and the way I approach it is, because I don't want to lose my friend from 5th grade. Right. If she can't be the friend to me at that moment, I have to figure out how to deal with things on my own. And I think in any marriage, no matter how great your marriage is, there's always going to be a point where you may not have it to give. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that she was right at all, but I'm saying Martel made a commitment. When you get married, you make a commitment to God in that person. You say, hey, I'm going to forsake all others. So 2 wrongs don't make a right. And I think we're in a culture where people are tit for tat. I hit you, you hit me back. Right. I hit you. That's not marriage. At least it's not supposed to be. Mm-hmm. So if you find yourself in that situation, you have to do the work and start to do what you're supposed to do. And then if your spouse doesn't come around, eventually you may have to look at separating and getting a divorce. Right. But adding another person to the...
I just want to, because I just hate that people beat up. Yeah. Just on him.
Right. Well, no, you're right. I could say, I will say this. My ex-husband cheated on me, but I'm mature enough to say it was not all his fault. He probably did not know how to handle a lot of things we were dealing with. Right. And I didn't know how to be, a great wife. I didn't know how to be supportive at the time. So I'm not excusing what he did, right? But I'm saying that it wasn't all one. It's never one-sided. It's never all one person's fault. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and get into the rest of the panel, because we had Jason Lee, who is a phenomenon unto himself. Yes. Also, Daryl Drake, and so much more. Come right back. We're right here with Chanell Scott with Cheministry. We'll be right back.